Hello, and today's video is going to be, do I regret Nilou? Now, the quick answer is just going to be no, but at the same time, maybe soon, we'll see. So basically, Nilou, she's a fun character, a very unique character, which is the reason why I like her. But that doesn't really change the fact that I don't really think she's as strong anymore as she used to be. Because Nilou used to be like this very sort of like, oh, she's got insane AoE damage. And now that we come over here, literally the character directly next to her is just like a 360 spin to win. They tried to break it, but no, he is still spin to win, destroying everything.
Oh no, this can't be.
So Nilou, I just don't think that she's gonna be that good. And you also have to understand, she's probably not gonna get that many buffs, right? So I can see easily the next time we get a Nilou banner, the answer from no to yes, because she's just, I could still use her, right? She's still great, but eventually it's just gonna become to the point where it's like, well, she's not really that amazing anymore, right? It used to be that, Hu Tao and Yoimiya, they only had a couple second difference. I could tell you, no, Yoimiya isn't like that. But then every other character around Yoimiya got buffed to the point where now Hu Tao is just utterly, way better than her. Gaming is better than Yoimiya, right? There is just no way that I can say I like Yoimiya anymore, right? Because she just doesn't have those buffs that everyone else got. It's gonna happen the same with Nilou. Because Nilou, she has a cap onto her damage. She literally, max HP above 30,000, the maximum damage increase you could get is 400%. So the maximum buff that you're reaching to is 74,000 on the 9% here. And if we go over, I'll make a team with Nilou where she has, a proper, damage buff. Yeah, I still have like a Nilou team set up and ready, right? So we come here and then I have 71,000 and, I have her, key. So I'm very little buff that I can get in terms of her health. And then you need bloom damage specifically. And I'm pretty sure that Baizhu would buff this team, right? But Baizhu is already out, right? I don't think we're getting another character like that, right? Also, you made it this far into the video. Subscribe. It really helped me out a lot. 3 minutes into the video. Yeah. But yeah. But just the biggest thing I want to say is like she's just not gonna get buffs, right? And she is gonna go to the wayside because I'm gonna use other characters that have new flashy animations, which, let's talk about it also. The animations have, pretty much improved. You have Arlecchino, Chloride, and Segway. Segway does have a pretty good animation, but it's just not necessarily as, active, I would say. It's sort of like she goes into a still image, if I'm remembering her burst correctly. And then we also have Emily, which I haven't even seen Emily's, actual animation, but I am assuming it's going to be on the level of Segway, Chloride, and Arlecchino, because they have now recently started putting a lot more effort into burst animations, which I think is great, honestly. But, Nilou doesn't really have that. I'm going to go look towards the characters that have flashy animations, right? And she's unique, and that's really all you could say about her. She has the unique playstyle of create bloom cores and, have it go. But right now, she's going to lose sort of her, I'm going to play this character because it's good, right? Nilou right now, I would say, is good, right? She is like, I could say top 10 DPS, and that seems like really good, but it's not. Like, if you looked at how many DPSs this game has, it's actually not. I think that means she's like in the top 30% of the DPS characters. I don't know how many DPS characters we actually have in this game, but yeah.
Am I a joke to you?
Nilou is just a character that isn't really gonna, be as insane in like 6 months, right? I don't see her being this crazy character. I think we're gonna get, the new Natalin characters. It might be Natlin, I think, maybe. I saw the way it was spelled, and I'm now questioning whether it's Natalin or Natlin. Nilou is purely just I like this playstyle character. And that's basically what Yoimiya has been relegated to, but it's a lot worse for Yoimiya because she is a lot worse. Whereas Nilou, not so much. Nilou, she's a DPS, but it's not one field DPS. It's kind of weird, because if we do get a good dendro character, we could see it, change up a bit, maybe. HP scaling dendro character, change up her, the way that we play her, entire team, right? Because all you need is a main DPS that has a lot of tankiness, right? But like I said again, like that is very specific. It's not just like, hey, all we need is, I mean, dude, we've been asking for a Geo buff, and that is not hard to get. Like, Ito is not a hard character to buff, and yet they still have not done it. It's crazy. I went onto the Ito main subreddit. I'm gonna be real, guys. I saw the copers being like, Ito has so much potential in Natalie. It's over, guys. But yeah, seriously though, Nilou just, her damage isn't really damage, it's reaction damage. And we just don't see a lot of characters that base themselves off of reaction damage, right? Because even Emily right now, who's going to be coming out later in this update, she is based on reactions, but she's not buffing burning damage from what I can tell. I'm pretty sure the way that her kit is going to work is that she's going to buff her own damage if they have a burning character, right? So it's just something that's like, you know, we're not going to see a Nilou buff. And that's something I want to make sure that everyone gets because like it's very specific if they want to buff Nilou. If they come out with a character that buffs Nilou, it's because they wanted to buff Nilou. But I could very much so see how Nilou doesn't get buffed at all in Natalie, because she didn't get buffed at all in Fontaine, really. Unless you want to count Fiorina, but then again, Fiorina being sort of a sub DPS character, and you can throw her on this team, and you would also have to be running Baiju. It's, you know, it works, but it's kind of like, you know, we want better Hydro App, right? I don't even know if Fiorina is optimal on this team. Because, I mean, you drain your HP, and then you also have to deal with Bloom Cores. I've talked a lot about the negatives for Nilou, so let's talk about some positives. She's really good in AoE. Absolutely decimates AoE. She has some of the fastest times in AoE when you get lucky enough, or the chambers are sort of set up for her. I remember we saw, like, the Enkokonomiya guys, right? These, you know, Enkokonomiya guys, honestly, has anybody been to Enkokonomiya in a while? Like, I feel like that this place has just kind of been forgotten about. Same as, like, the Chasm, too, bro. Like, we have not had anything, like, go on there at all. It was, like, a one-stop trip, right? But, these Enkokonomiya guys, we should be able to find a couple, right?
One eternity later.
I might have misremembered Enkokonomiya. I couldn't find one of the enemies that I'm talking about, but there should be one right down here. Yeah, this guy. So, there's a whole bunch of these enemies which I thought was from Enkokonomiya. I don't remember them being added in the Chasm. But, like, you'll have these guys who will, you know, I'm trying to get a good camera angle, but this mountain is making it hard. So you'll have those guys. This is really hard. So, those guys in Spiral Abyss, have been multiple instances of these guys existing in Abyss where Nilou will dominate them, because they oftentimes do the same, like, sort of set of enemies where they have, like, you know, those, like, two of these guys and then, like, the Hydro guys and then stuff, right? So they'll oftentimes go ahead and do that. And Nilou has always just destroyed those, because they have very specific sort of ways of going about things, because the guys who carry, like, flags will hit you and put a shield on every single other character around them. And that's Pyro Shield, by the way. But with a Nilou team, oftentimes, you don't got a shield. You would need Baiju for that. And, well, you don't really need Baiju when you have Kokomi here, and you can just run, you know, Traveler and Nahida, and those guys will work great, you know. So, yeah, she will dominate certain AoE phases if they do, like, spawn very close. We don't get a lot of those, but still, she'll do well against just general AoE phases. But in terms of other characters, I mean, it's just like they can, you know, consistently just dominate everything, right? Not really, because Nilou against the boss is kind of just not necessarily extraordinary. You know, it's generally just because, like, the AoE that she's able to provide is, you know, pretty strong, and she is pretty, you know, able to do pretty good damage. You know, just consistent damage. I would say she is able to sort of match Nevi. I would say Nevi's still better in AoE, but I would say she's sort of able to match Nevi's sort of power level in terms of AoE. That's not including the 360 spin strat, you know, the strat that they tried to, you know, fix. You know, I say fix, but it, you know, didn't really need fixing. It's just a part of this kit, right? I think we peaked when Nilou first came out, because as you can tell, I'm using a team that was out. Well, was Nahida out when she first came out? Maybe not. I don't know. No, Nilou came out in 3.1, and then Nahida came out the update after, right? So yeah, we'll see. I mean, I could be wrong about this, and maybe Genshin Impact loves, you know, Nilou, because to be fair, they have done it to where characters get entirely new teams. Looking at Zhao and Sinnoh, for example, Zhao between what 3.0? No, wait, Yeah, Zhao between what? When did Farazan come out? Zhao between 3.3 and 4.4, I want to say. Yeah, 4.4. 3.3 and 4.4. Zhao got an entirely new team in Fiorina, Sinyun, and Farazan, which basically made him way stronger, right? And the same goes for Sinnoh, where, you know, Sinnoh, he got Nahida, which wasn't out before when he came out. And then he also got Baiju, and then he also got, you know, Fiorina, right? So Fiorina really did pull his whole team together, honestly, and now he's really good, I would say, because we were kind of missing, like, a really strong, like, he did need another support, basically. So that's just my thoughts on the character. You know, I've had Nilou since her first rerun, her weapon, and, you know, her whatever. She is purely just a for fun character at this point, because characters just perform better than her, and I have those characters, right? So, and I don't think that it's necessarily wise to summon for this character when those characters, well, one, like, I don't even think that you should summon for it, because Nevi's gonna take too long to get a rerun. I think we might see, like, better characters than Nevi in 5.0 series. I genuinely think that. One, we're gonna have the Pyro Archon and stuff, but yeah. That's going to be it for this video. Make sure to subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.